Hello everyone, welcome to my health series. Today we will be talking about sleep, how it should not be a nuisance and it should actually be a superpower. So, one common misconception that people have about sleep is that as we get older, we actually need less sleep, whereas the consistent body of research is showing that we actually lose our ability to sleep. So older folks, they may sleep less, but they actually lose their ability. So this probably kind of demonstrates that sleep is actually very important. It's a regenerative superpower. And it's strange because we actively avoid or mess with sleep all the time, and it's very underrated. I think it's underrated in our society because obviously we care about money and we need to work all the time. And if you're not working, you're asleep or you're doing other things, right? So if you're asleep, you're not working, you cannot provide, right? But I think it's very underrated, right? I think before electricity, before all this stuff, our sleep was more regulated because once all the lights went off, nobody's doing anything, right? It's nighttime. The only thing that you have is like the light of the moon. So when all the lights were off, everyone was asleep. Now, sleep is sleep is a strange thing, but it really comes down to three different things that people have to focus on with sleep. It's the quality, the quantity, and the timing of the sleep. So what does this mean? So quality is like how good you sleep, right? There's a bunch of things that affect it, right? So like if you're with like your snoring dad, like on vacation, like in a hotel room, of course you're not getting like really good quality sleep because maybe you're gonna wake up every like 10 minutes or something like that. And then there's quantity. It's like how many hours you're actually clocking in, right? Like, are you getting 8 hours of sleep? Or maybe 6 hours with a 2 hour nap later on, right? But in general, you're getting your 8 hours or whatever, right? Some people need less hours of sleep, some people need more hours of sleep, but more or less it falls around the 7 to 9 hour range. And it seems like nobody can function on like less than like 5 hours. Lastly, there's timing. So the timing of sleep does actually matter, right? So we cannot be nocturnal, right? I can not emphasize this enough, right? No matter how much you try, it is against human nature to kind of go nocturnal. Some people can adapt to being a night owl, so some people can fall asleep later and wake up later, or maybe be more awake during the night. It has been shown that people who are more like nocturnal have negative health consequences. And I'm talking to like the severe, right? Like I'm talking graveyard shift workers, I'm talking about people that are awake from 12 a.m. all the way up to 6 a.m. sort of thing. That ruins my dreams because I really wanted to be Batman one day, but turns out that's just not possible unless you're going to suffer negative health consequences. But who knows? I want everyone to understand those three pillars, right? Quality, quantity, and the timing, right? The reason why those three are important is because those kind of dictate how good of sleep that we're getting. And it's weird because sleep is something that we all need, yet we haven't structured a society around sleep, right? We've structured our society around productivity, right? But I believe that maybe in the future, right, if we lend ourselves to structure our society again around sleep, perhaps we could see very long lasting benefits, right? Because if we don't have the regenerative benefits of sleep, maybe we will see better health outcomes in a society that prioritizes sleep. So I wanted this video to first just be one little droplet in the bucket of a paradigm shift of going to a society that prioritizes sleep and prioritizes scientific literature and actually becomes maybe a society that actually studies sleep, because there's actually a lot to it. The more and more research that I read, the more I realize that we don't really understand much about this process that encompasses about a third of our lives. And, right now we're just at the tip of the iceberg of understanding the brain. And we understand much less about this complicated process that is sleep, right? This wonderful regenerative process, right? That we call sleep. So that's all I have for today, and I will talk about this more in the future, but this is first video in a bunch that hopefully I'll talk about our health and longevity. So good night, everyone. That's it for this weekend.